Hello, and welcome to yet another pick-up and stream, where hopefully I'll defeat one of the mech bosses. It seems that I do have all of the potions ready, so all I really need to do, I think, well, let's get all these station buffs first. Yeah, I need to basically remember where I'm at, really. I feel a little bit lost here, because it's been so long since I've played. I think if I go down here, I have a bed. So I could sleep here while waiting for one of the mech bosses to spawn. And I figured what would maybe be a better way of spending the time rather than just literally waiting here and reading the occasional chat is going through the questions that I went through in the Do All Terraria YouTubers Think the Same videos and just kind of saying what I thought of them. It's been a while since I've actually recorded those videos. It was back at the start of September, so I don't really remember what other YouTubers said. But yeah, I figured people may be interested in what I had to say about some of them, hopefully. And the first prompt in the video was, fishing is an enjoyable part of Terraria. Now, I would kind of say that the fishing part itself, like the act of fishing, isn't necessarily enjoyable per se. But like the overall like product of fishing makes it enjoyable. Like the fact that if you're really struggling with a boss, you can then decide, oh, I'm actually going to put some effort in, fish for life force potions, wrath potions, rage potions. That's what makes fishing worth it. So I would say that overall it is enjoyable, just, you know, the minutiae of like casting the rod out, bringing the rod in isn't necessarily fun in itself. Oh, and we're getting a mech boss. Okay. Fun. This took less time than I thought. I think shotgun's going to be the best, right? I don't think I'm going to use the destroyer cheese. Is this destroyer or prime? Can't really remember. Let's make sure we've got our exploding bullets in first. This is very inaccurate, so hopefully it's better on bosses. Never really used the shotgun before. I probably should have lit this up before now. It's prime. Okay. Let's buff up. Yes, I do have feather falling. Ah yes, that's because I was going to swap my wings for another another double jump, which is probably a good idea. Okay, this is actually going quite well. Prime might have been the best one to get, because he's not doing that much damage, and I'm actually doing quite a lot of damage to him. Still not used a healing potion yet. Thankfully my regen's quite high, so I'm dealing a decent amount of damage and not taking too much damage. That's quite a lot of damage. That slime kind of almost ruined the fight there. Let's get rid of that. The feather falling is being a little hard to use, I won't lie. Back at full health with a potion in the bag, that's where we want to be. That's a third of our health gone every time we get hit by the laser though, so I'm going to be wary of that. I mean, it's a third of our health gone every time we get hit by anything, I think. Just need to keep this up. Try and get some good damage when I can. Worth taking the potion, maybe? No, I'm good, I'm good. Because we're not having a dash. This wraith's worrying me. I don't want that to not be there. Am I going to be dealing enough damage this fight? I don't know what I could do to increase my damage without getting hit more often is the thing. It's just very little of my actual shotgun shells are hitting. Oh, that was close. Should drop more than one set of buffs, I think. At least the laser hand is almost down. I don't think I'm going to do enough damage. Yeah, there's a good chance I'm not doing enough damage for this fight. Problem is I don't really have any better weapons to use. Definitely not going to deal 7,000 damage in the next minute or 30 seconds. Does he just go enraged in day, or does he go away? Because if he just goes enraged, then it's possible I could survive this. Although I'm not dealing much damage, even when he's not got like thousands of defense. And he will one-shot me. Yep, and he one-shot me. That's annoying. Okay, so I need to double up on my potions for some of them. Any of the 8-minute ones are fine. Sure, I'll take Shine. And Night Owl. And Thorns. You know, I don't know if actually any of them are 4-minute ones. Inferno is. Oh, did I not have Inferno in that fight? I don't think. Maybe I go searching for Inferno potions in other worlds. Yeah, let's do that. I forgot to use the slime stuff. I did, yeah. That maybe could have helped a bit. Let's go 8. I don't think I'll have searched hell for 8. No, let's go to the other side. Get my wings on, get the chisel on, and start digging. Realistically, what I need is a better weapon. Because the shotgun is good, but that was nowhere near enough DPS for the kind of health that the bosses have got. I mean, maybe if I played it slightly better, I could have done that, but there was like 4,000 DPS left at the end of the fight, right? It just feels a little too much for the shotgun to go through. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I could wear that would increase the damage either. Maybe menacing instead of warding and going full glass cannon. Oh, I'm kind of against that because my defense would be so low in that scenario. I mean, I don't have any reforge on my blizzard in a bottle, so I could get a better reforge for that. That would maybe work. Any better bullets you can get? I don't think so. I think exploding bullets are the best. Or do silver ones deal more damage? I feel like silver ones deal 9 damage maybe. Let's get my mining helmet on actually, so we can see a bit better. It's going to be a long way to hell. I mean, there's potential that the Grey Zappinator with the Meteor gear would do better, just because that actually does extra damage from my armor, but I don't know. Very slow speed and 26 damage, whereas if I was always hitting the head with the Zappinator. The real issue with Skeletron Prime is that accuracy does not work with the bullet, the shotgun. If I was fighting the Destroyer, the inaccuracy would be fine. Because the destroyer is so big that like all of the bullets are going to hit regardless. And then the probes are kind of so close to you that you'd probably be fine hitting them anyway. You could also reforge shotgun. I don't have access to reforging in this, unfortunately. Goblin is not available because I don't have enough health to spawn the goblin army. So all of these accessories I've got with reforges have just been found that way. Thankfully in Celebration Mark 10 worlds you get the best reforge on items by default, so I've been able to get really good reforges without spending a bunch of gold at the Tinkerer. Is this going to be the Shimmer? It is the Shimmer. Not that that helps much, to be honest. Other than being able to do this. And then not have to mine down so far. As long as I don't fall into some lava or something. Or a spider biome. Hello Alejandro, how are you doing? Good to see you join the stream. I think, again, I'm pretty sure I've seen you in the stream before. It may not be worth mining over to the Shimmer patch, but we'll see. Yeah, I think it probably is worth that, because it's going to get us down quite a bit. Once again into a spider patch. Thankfully no spiders though. Yep, been here a few times. Yeah, well, thank you for joining once again. You missed the one fight I've had with Skeletron this stream, which didn't go very well. Well, it did go well, my damage isn't high enough. I need higher damage, really. The only thing that increases my damage is the Gi, which is just 5% damage and crit strike. Like, I have a feeling that Star Fury would have been better. If you press T while holding your pickaxe, it becomes Pixel. No, really, totally. Yeah, I'm sure it does. It wouldn't work anyway since I've got all favourite 8. I'm immune to your trolling. Hey Bone Reaper, how are you doing? Glad to see you could join. To catch you up to date, we have fought the Skeletron Prime in this stream and lost because my damage just is not high enough, I'm afraid. So I'm now looking through Celebration Mark 10 worlds to get better, well, to get more potions. Hopefully going to get some Infernos for the extra damage. And then I'm going to hope that I get a better weapon from the Travelling Merchant. We'll see about that. Yeah, let's get the Lava Charm on. Probably not any chests this way, to be honest. Yeah, all the items are favorited because I don't want to throw any of them away since I can't pick them up again. A bit odd since literally less than an hour ago I got a wisdom tooth from Hoofed. Oh. So are you still feeling the effects? Hope it went well. I do hate that the lava charm doesn't make you immune to fire as well. Yeah, I do have infinite quiver. I actually think that, yeah, the Hellwing bow appears to be stronger than the shotgun. Because it can pierce, it shoots faster. I know it doesn't have like the spread, but it does have the spread, should I say. But so does the shotgun. Okay, some more Infernum potions, very nice. I think shotgun is better short range, potentially, but we don't really want to be short range in this, because being short range will kill us. Hi Neville, how are you doing? Glad to see you could join. I should have put a certain texture pack on before I loaded this up actually. Ah, the most useful item in this run, the treasure magnet. This granite biome really wants to be in hell. Overall, it went well with zero complications, just can't talk for the next 3 or so hours, and I'm a bit medicated with painkillers, but fine. Oh, I'm glad to hear it. I hope that it doesn't, the pain doesn't come back once the painkillers wear off. Hellwing bow can fire Hellwing arrows for more DPS. That is true. Yeah, it might be worth next time using Hellwing bow, because I can also use the archery potions for an extra 20% damage, which is pretty big, I have to say. Yeah, that felt quite high damage there. Stuff that sells for more. Do I need hunter potions? Probably not, to be honest, but I don't need dynamite, so. Invisibility potion is useless, so I don't know why I'm keeping that. Let's see if I can reach this from the safety of here. Can. Another life force potion. Okay, worth placing down one of my piggy banks then. Place everything in here. Probably not going to go back and get the rest of it, but I will see what's in this chest and then probably go back. This song is so good. Yes, it's the Stardew Valley theme tune. Not theme tune, I guess. Soundtrack. And it's probably one of the best video game soundtracks that exists, to be honest. Shotgun does have multiple projectiles, and if you want you can make meteorite bullets to get piercing on it too, and after one mech you can make high velocity bullets too, but generally they should be around the same DPS on single target if you use Hellstone arrows, and on Destroyer Helming is probably better, and on Twin Shotgun would be better with explosive bullets. Interesting. I think either way the best bet is getting a better weapon from the Travelling Merchant. But whether or not that's going to happen is up to the RNG gods, I'm afraid. Just looked at the TerraSpark diagram and only 2 components are unavailable. That's rough. Unfortunately, I also can't get the what's it called? Tinker's Workshop used to craft all the items together. So even if I could get some of the items that are unobtainable, in fact, I think they are all obtainable some way. You can just get them all from chests, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, the obsidian rose and obsidian itself. Yeah, those will be the unattainable bits. Which is sad, but it is what it is. Okay, let's just go up and over this, because we do not like hellstone bricks. Annoyingly, there is a chest in there. I wonder if I can get to it through here without taking any damage. Hey. I have a feeling there's probably going to be some more chests around here, so I may want to place down my... Oh, maybe not. I was going to say I may want to place down my piggy bank, put more stuff in, but that could be it for items. Still gonna do it. Yeah, got everything there, and cook stack. So we're getting a full inventory anyway. Check for one here, and then I'll go back to that piggy bank if there's a chest in here. Doesn't seem there is. Granite is on the table in this run. Indeed it is. The one thing that would have helped us against Moonlord. It could have made all the difference. Certainly there's a lot of granite in this world. Like poking down into the underworld. You usually don't see this much, I swear. I draw all my power from granite. I am the granite golem. Indeed. Where are all chests? No more chests on this side? It appears so. Okay, that's probably a good little haul there. Grab all the things you want to sell. Perfect full inventory of selling. Getting any of the travelling merchant weapons would be great, like Gatligator or Sergeant United Shield. The shield in particular would be super nice, and a Zappinator wouldn't be too bad either, though you do lose quite a lot of mobility from no Moonlord legs. Yeah, it's unfortunate that I can't get Mage to work in this pretty much at all. A lovely bit of gold from that. Something that other people doing this run may struggle with. Okay, let's get our potions ready for the next round then. Let's grab archery just in case we use that. Yeah, what's that sword on your YouTube profile? It's called the Frost Fury. It doesn't exist technically anywhere other than in my mind. But in my mind it's a combination of the Star Fury and Ice Blade. There's a little Chief Logan lore for you. 2 Inferno potions actually. I think that's all the potions, and they're all 8 minutes other than the Inferno. I could take magic power, but I'm probably not going to use the Zappinator, and that's the only real weapon I would use it for. Right, let's head to bed then. Hopefully we get a Traveling Merchant today. Which stage of the game would that weapon be at? I think probably either just before Wall of Flesh or just after Wall of Flesh. If I ever make a mod, it'll definitely make an appearance. Also, did you see the Calamity update that just dropped? Was that not just a quick fix for the Wall of Flesh not spawning ores correctly or something? Or like crashing when things drop? Oh. Trying to read the changelog while fighting. It's just a single thing, and yes. Okay. Is it you can only get items from chests and NPCs? Pretty much, yeah. Those are the... Well, yeah, those are the two things, actually. I don't know why I'm saying pretty much. You could try to get a bass statue, but I'm not sure if that helps. I've got one already at my arena. A couple. Yeah, I'm able to get those from desert chests. It's just very funny to me. Oh well, I mean, if it's a game-breaking bug, they kind of have to patch it early. It makes sense. Okay, let's see if we get anything tonight, and then if not, we'll go to the next question of the Terraria YouTubers video. Because that's the backup plan for if we don't get fights here. While sleeping, I will just go through the questions from the Terraria YouTubers videos and give my opinion on them. What are you planning to do for hard mode then, because there's no new chest items until say post Plantera? So actually there's no new chest items at all, because to open those chests I need biome keys. Oh, brilliant. Is that another one for the destroyer? Or is that... What boss is that? Is that destroyer or Skeletron Prime? It's Prime, okay. So I think I can do this then, if I use the Hellwing bow. Okay, I've got my slimes, and I'll use the blizzard in a bottle. Although honestly, it may be worth it to have the 4 defense rather than the blizzard. Hellwing till arms are gone, then shotgun for head. I don't know if I'll be able to get the arms gone, to be honest. Hellfire or endless quiver? What do we want to go with? Oh, I need to buff up as well. That would make sense. Okay, yeah, my damage seems to be a lot higher here. Hellfire for DPS. Okay. Although then they don't pierce. Although that may not matter. I think I might be alright without it piercing. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of the feather fall buff. I don't need it if I'm wearing my wings. Feels really hard to aim these. I'm beginning to think that the... Yeah, I feel like this is hitting more for some reason. Just because it can go through and hit multiple segments. Or multiple arms, should I say. And they don't have the gravity, so... Especially here, where like the saw would be blocking most of my attacks from dealing damage to anything else. You can get minecart tracks. Yeah, I can craft minecart tracks. Okay, I think we're fine on this one. Is there enough time? I'm not sure. We'll find out very soon. It's so over. I'm hoping not. Was I dealing more damage with the Hellfire arrows? Shotgun for Skull, since it's so slow you'll hit it easily. Problem is Skull isn't going down yet. Or the hands aren't going down fast enough, should I say. Honestly, is Star Fury going to deal more damage just to the skull alone? Still got a mining hat on, shouldn't have that on. Bullets. Yeah, now that the laser's down, this may be the best bet. Whether it's enough or not is another question. I think this is going worse than the first attempt. Can I at least get that hands down? Or am I just gonna die before? Let's keep my distance so I don't die here. So I think what's maybe happened is I've dealt more damage to the hands and less damage to the head itself. Doesn't help that the slimes are doing literally nothing to help. No way I can outrun that. Okay. Looking at the time and the amount of HP, it doesn't look like we have enough DPS. Yeah, I don't think so. I think we need a better weapon, really. Slimes carried. They did indeed. Yeah, we may just need to get a better weapon from the traveling merchant, which is annoying because that's just luck based whether that happens or not. There's literally nothing I can do to like affect it. Should have used shotguns plus explosive bullets since the start of the fight. I was using that in the first attempt and it didn't work. Like I just didn't do enough damage for it to like kill him in time. So I need a better weapon. Realistically, that's like the only thing I think that will help. Maybe some teleporters for the last phase of the fight as well. It could work, but I kind of want to avoid teleporters and stuff just now. I might have to use them later, but you should get meter shots for melee hands, then explosive for skull. That could work. I could see that working. Are there any other better weapons than the Zappinator? I think at this point the orange Zappinator would be the best weapon I could get. I don't really see a better one than that. The Sergeant United Shield would be a close second. The Gatligator would be good as well, but I think the Zappinator would be the best. I'd lose a little bit of speed from the Moonlord's legs, but I can make up for that. So while I'm waiting, let's go into the second prompt from my video with the 5-star YouTubers asking them questions, and that was that Terraria is primarily a game about fighting bosses and progressing. I would disagree with this. I think that there's so much more to the game than fighting bosses and progressing. Sure, a lot of it kind of devolves into that, but I don't think it's the only thing by far. Yeah, so I think I would probably strongly disagree with that, to be honest. The next one is Master Mode was a good addition to Terraria. I'm not so sure about that. I feel like it was a bit half-baked, Master Mode. They could have done a lot more to make it an interesting game mode. Like, I mean, you go from Classic. This is the first time I've actually played Classic, this playthrough. and it's quite easy. And then you go to expert, and there's definitely quite a big difficulty spike, I would say. Like, if I wasn't playing such a challenging challenge just now, I mean, I've still got 100 health, and I'm surviving boss fights, you know? My issue is damage, not survivability. So I don't really see how Master fits into that. It just kind of buffs up the numbers. Nurse cheese is a valid strategy for Terraria challenge videos. Strongly disagree. Unless it's something like this. Maybe like I could see it for certain challenges that are like so hard and so impossible that you need to use the nurse. If you're like doing 10 DPS against the Moonlord and you're just wanting to endure it, fair enough. But for most playthroughs where it's just like you playing with a class or a subclass, oh, okay, twins, that is probably not going to go well. What's best for twins, do we think? Shotgun with explosive bullets? I don't have many exploding bullets left, but probably enough for the night. Okay, let's get a piggyback down here. Put my archery potion away because I don't need that if I'm not using the Helling Bow. I don't think this is going to go well, to be honest. Any flasks to put on your Star Fury to debuff? Not at this point. I can get Venom later on after Plantera, but until then I don't have any damaging debuffs. I could get party flasks, but they're not really useful. Oh, I hate this fight so much more than I hate the Skeletron Prime one. Damage is looking better though. Alright, I'm going to try and focus Spaz. Problem is if I get hit with Cursed Flames, I'm going to take so much damage. Like that. Okay, this is probably going better than Skeletron Prime, I guess, in terms of damage. Whether or not that continues remains to be seen. Once they're in phase 2, it could get derailed. I'll try and keep one of them in phase 2 at a time. Well, all the damage used is to the boss, unlike Skeletron, yeah. Oh, that dealt quite a lot of damage. Probably didn't need to use a potion there, but we did anyway. Okay, we're at 11 and between the two of them that are around half health, I think we got this. Got around half our bullets left, so I think we're okay. As long as I don't mess anything up. Which is very possible. Like that. Come on, die very quickly, please. Still around 2,000 health left on Spaz. There we go. I think we're fine then. Those pumpkins are really annoying. Do more damage than the boss. Better not choke this. Hey. Oh, I was hoping to pick those up, but I guess not. Okay, we can now get the truffle to move in, right? Spaz dropped a treasure pack, a goodie bag. I didn't see that. Okay, no, the truffle now just sells a mushroom spear, which, hey, I mean, it's not necessary. But I'm gonna get it anyway. Also, the fact that you lose 1/4 of the night waiting for the boss to spawn. Yeah, that's not ideal. Hamish could technically destroy that and then get more demon altars, but there's no reason. Ah, this is classic. Is a master coming soon? No, I do not want to go through this in master. That would be absolutely awful. It's bad enough in classic. Okay, so I don't think I've ever seen someone use the mushroom spear. It's not bad. And now I've kind of forgotten everything that I can get after one of the mechs. So I'm going to need to rely on you, Bone Reaper, to remind me of everything. Interesting that I could have got unholy arrows. Spasmatism using cursed flames feels weird when you read Crimson World, though what are your thoughts on Spaz using Ichor? I think it makes more sense for Retinazer to deal Ichor and Spaz to deal Cursed Flames regardless of the world. The spear class and weapons in 1.6 is Go 8. The meds aren't working. Indeed. It's my favourite class in 1.30. Okay, what can I actually get now? I could buy nothing from the... I mean, if I was able to like bring another character in and get another gift from the Tavernkeep, getting one of these armor sets would be so powerful. Steampunker, jetpack, high velocity bullets. Aside from that, nothing comes to mind right now. It's true, yeah, that's quite a lot now that I think of it. Steampunker's the big game changer. Where do high velocity bullets come from? Is that from the arms dealer? Oh, it's cogs, right? Yeah. What about the cyborg? That's after Plantera. Question is, do I have enough housing for the Steampunker to move in? Yeah, I've got a house right there. Just double check this works. Yeah, the housing is suitable, so should be able to spawn in there. Let's get some buffs for the next fight. With the amount of money I got, is it worth buying the Hamish just as a better hammer? You should purify the area sand a bit so that corruption mobs don't spawn there. Yeah, I'll do that once I've got the Contaminator. 35 gold for a better hammer? I mean, I've not used the hammer for much, to be honest. It's probably not worth it. I don't really need a hammer, you're right. Okay, let's go sleep and wait for the Steampunker. I miss not having census when I'm playing vanilla. Truly one of the most goated mods. Oh, I forget that hell's now harder. Okay, let's go through the rest of the questions then. Yeah, I went through how Nurse Cheese... Well, I think I just said that it's not valid, yeah. To elaborate on that, I don't think that for most videos Nurse Cheese makes sense. I think if you're doing a subclass playthrough and you use the Nurse on Moonlord just to get the challenge over, you've kind of just sidestepped the challenge, I guess. In my opinion, you know. To each their own, I guess, but that's just my opinion. The last one from the first video, events in Terraria are fun. I would say yes. I would say some are more fun than others. Like, when you're at the end of hard mode, or even post Moonlord and Calamity and the pirates turn up, it's kind of like just a chore. But when it's... I think events work best when they're self-summoned. Like, if you have to go out of your way to summon an event, that's when events are fun. But having one just thrust upon you from sheer luck is not enjoyable, I would say. I think that if there was ever Terraria 2, it would do best to make all events manually summoned. I almost asked why you don't take the bed to the overworld. Good question. Same, I was going to ask why is he sleeping in hell. But it's either hell or the dungeon. And the dungeon's... Well, this dungeon doesn't have a bed, so... How did you get money to start with? Yeah, I was selling items to NPCs. And you can also get gold and silver from chests, albeit somewhat rarely, and not that much, so. I'm so anti-nurse strat for real, trial by pain and error all the way. I agree. I think that, you know, if you're not dying multiple times in a playthrough, and it's not hardcore, it's probably not hard enough. Like if you're just, you know, surviving because of the nurse, it's probably not hard enough. Or it's too hard and you're, you know, sidestepping the challenge overall. So let's go on to the second video, the second part. Melee should be reworked to be more close range. I would probably somewhere between agree and strongly agree with this. I think that currently melee feels kind of like an island where there's not much to make it unique other than the fact that there's really high defense. And in the early game, you're kind of limited with range. But even then, you've got things like the Enchanted Sword and the Star Fury and all the boomerangs, you know. I wouldn't say that it's a good class currently. It's fun to use because it's the most overpowered, for sure. But it's badly balanced. It's got the highest defense, and for the most part, it's got really high offense as well. And I know that Terraria isn't built as like an RPG with different classes that have, you know, set pros and cons. It's more just like they kind of added to the classes as they went. I mean, especially with Summoner, that just kind of came out of nothing. But yeah, when you look at the defense difference between Summoner and Melee, it just feels a bit unfair. More parry weapons would also be fun. Yeah, I think that you could make an entire mechanic around that, where maybe just for swords, but like parrying gives you immunity frames, and then you can use that to deal damage to the boss. Like even if you got an extended amount of immunity frames, but then it had a cooldown, so like you parry a boss and then you get 5 seconds of immunity or 10 seconds of immunity to deal a bunch of damage, but then you have to get out of there because maybe it lowers your defense, or even if it just keeps your defense the same, and then you can't parry again for a while. It might be worth it to use that really low range weapon that you just parry with. I think melee is alright. I'd prefer less ranged attacks regardless. I think there needs to be incentive to play up close. I don't know how. Yeah, I mean, in the video it was mentioned that like maybe melee damage falls off the further you get. So that if you're maybe 20 tiles from the boss, it'll still deal 100% damage, but then from 20 to 50 it'll deal half damage, and then from anything other than 50 it's just 0 damage or something. It would obviously scale a bit more linearly than that. It's not going to be steps from like 0 to 50 to 100. Oh, Steampunker. Hey. Oh, no wings today. Could get the Contaminator though. I need to get these prices lower, really. Let's see who the Steampunker likes. Oh, the Steampunker likes the desert. That's surprising. Cyborg and Painter. Okay, I can do that. Did not mean to click that. Why is it going to you? Okay, Steampunk and Painter. I love Old One Army melee weapons. I love the right click features. Yeah, I agree. I think they're some of the most unique melee, and just general weapons in the game. Oh yeah, there's not going to be enough pylon. Enough people at the pylon. Okay, well, I can at least sleep until night and then they'll all head to the same place. What's with the arrows everywhere? I don't know what you mean. Arrows? My vague melee ideas for right-click feature. Swords, parry, spears, charge right-click. I think spears would be cool if you could throw them with a right-click. But then you have to like go collect the spear. Like maybe you throw it and it deals 5 times damage. But then you have to collect it. Or it's like a loyalty trident where you throw it and then it comes back, but after a few seconds. Or like the piranha gun where you throw it and it stays in an enemy and deals like damage over time. That would be pretty cool. Yo-yos and boomerangs, less range, defensive move around player. Yeah, yo-yos... I feel like yo-yos are probably fine because they are limited by the string length. You could probably balance that a bit better, but the fact that you have to stay on the boss's hitbox to deal damage, I think, makes it skill-based enough that, you know, it's not the same as like shooting a gun, where you can use the line anywhere, like, between you and the boss, and it'll still get to the boss. As for boomerangs, I don't know, other than decreasing their range, I don't know what I would change with them. Okay, that's late enough. Is that really all the discount I'm getting? Are these guys still considered here? Like if I move the who else was there? The angler here. Oh, okay. I need that Contaminator. Right. Angler goes there. Okay, and then let's head to caverns so that they'll reset and head to the desert. Yeah, so it is because of that, which means I'm going to need to go to the snow biome. Boomerangs don't feel like a melee weapon. Yeah, they feel like a throwing weapon. I really feel like Terraria should have had a throwing class, and boomerangs and yo-yos should have been part of the throwing class, because melee's already got so many weapons. And I know a lot of those are just like sword reskins for each ore. Wow, that does a lot of damage. But yeah, I feel like that's a decent way of balancing melee as well as taking weapons from it that are really high range. Or that feel more throwing than melee. Like, you can't say that a weapon like the flying hatchet feels like melee when, you know, I don't know, it just doesn't intuitively feel melee compared to something like swords and spears. Oh, I thought there was no one here at the... So where am I missing people? Ah, here. I need to move the who? Who do I need to move? Clothier. Okay, 68 gold, not bad. Don't think it's worth getting the hook. could spread Hallow at spawn to fight off the corruption. Why are there barrels everywhere? That was to force a meteor to hit. So I'm gonna need to actually move the thing in here. It's the painter she likes, right? And then move the merchant and the angler back over here. How do you stop picking up random items like stars? That's the Encumbering Stone, which is what the whole challenge is based around. Basically anything that the Encumbering Stone allows, I'm allowed to do. Okay, so merchant and angler. You know what, it was actually the arms dealer that... Yeah. It's the arms dealer I should have moved over here. Get the discount. Give me that green solution. Okay, that's probably enough. I maybe went a little overboard with it, but yeah. Oh, I need to use my ammo reservation station. Okay, if I can stop it from this side of the tree, that'd be pretty based. Wait, ammo buff works on Contaminator. Yeah, pretty sure it does. I think that's the case. I could be wrong. If I am, I'm sorry for the misinformation, but... Is there any... Yeah, there is there. Ow. Can you not fish for crystal hearts? No, I can't get bait because everything that gives bait is classed as picking up an item, so won't work with the Encumbering Stone, and opening crates also counts as picking up items, doesn't work with Encumbering Stone, which is unfortunate because it would be really nice to use both. If I could fish, I could have got the toxic fish, whatever it's called, the ranger weapon, which is actually pretty good. Keep going until I get to that cave. Use the spear for enemies. I should, yes. Let's get that in that position. I'm now at the position where I've got too many weapons almost. Dodged. Yeah, that does pretty good damage. It's on the slime minion, yes. Should have done that. A challenge where I can't fish is a challenge I can't accept. That's been the real challenge so far, is just not being able to fish. It's been the hardest part of this. Wow, look at the slime. He's doing so much. I'm so glad I have the slime. Truly trying its best. Doing fishing only in Calamity, now on stream before it's ruined completely. Yeah, the new fishing update. I don't really know why they've done it that way, to be honest. Don't know why they've done what they've done. I know that the whole point of the corruption is that it like spreads to the rest of the world, but I kind of wish it didn't do that. It just seems it's out of spite, since it does not help anyone anyway. It has 0 positives and only negatives, aside from fixing the crate bug finally. Yeah, I can't see why they've done it. I don't know if spite's the right word for it, but I think sometimes the Calamity devs have got too much of a care for everything being like perfectly balanced. I know that's like a meme, but yeah. Feels like they would benefit from leaving some things a bit less balanced. Okay, I feel like that's probably enough for now. Still not selling me wings, eh? Could get some high velocity bullets going though, so 10 would hopefully make quite a few of those. I'm just gonna buy the bullets at a higher price. Probably more bullets than I need for that. Okay, so that'll make me 500. I can get more than that probably. Another 10, I would say. I'll keep my exploding bullets for now, and then we'll start going through the high velocity ones later. I kind of want to keep my Star Fury, to be honest. My Hellwing Bow's probably able to be retired now. There. Grey Zapinair can be retired. Yeah, that's probably good. Star Fury is just good for hitting things through blocks. Well, I guess the Mushroom Spear does that for the short range as well. Calamity has fallen. Millions must play Starlight River. Yeah. How was fishing even unbalanced? You still need to do all the normal progression to even use it, so it was always faster to just play normally. They just removed it as an option. Yeah, I agree, but I could see how they would think that it's unbalanced, you know? I would disagree with it being with them thinking it's unbalanced, but you know, given that they're different people with different ideas of what balance means. Yeah, it's a hard one, because some people will see fishing and be like, oh, it's so unbalanced because you can get all the ores without having to mine, and you can do all this without having to go out in the world and worry about getting killed. But then you're paying for it in grind. Like, the thing that tells me that fishing isn't unbalanced is that people do things other than fishing when they could be fishing for the same things. Like, people will go and mine ores when they could fish for those ores. If fishing was truly unbalanced when it comes to ore gathering, they would just get ores from fishing, you know? I'm kind of hoping we don't get another spawn before I can get Steampunker wings, or the jetpack, because they're going to change everything. I won't need the sandstorm, I won't need the wings. I don't know what I'll use instead of them, to be honest. Sandstorm might still be worth it, just for the quick change in direction, but let's see what we're getting. Nothing. Good. Anyway, the next question. Summoner is the most difficult class to use in Terraria. I think I would agree with this. And I wouldn't say that it's like the least fun or anything, it's just the most difficult to use, because minion AI is not intuitive at all. When you use a bow, you know what's going to happen. You're going to shoot an arrow, it's either going to have some gravity or it's not. We all understand what gravity is. We all understand that arrows shot from bows have gravity for the most part. There's a few exceptions to that, like the pulse bow, where it doesn't have gravity. That's fine. But when you summon a vampire frog, and then you summon another 3 vampire frogs, and you're still doing the same damage as like the first 2, there's no intuitive thought process of oh, this is because of iframes. And if I want to get the best DPS, I need to mix my minions. You just see, oh, well, the vampire frog does the most damage on its own, so I should get as many of those as possible. But in reality, you need to mix because of iframes. And then with whips, the range is shorter than most melee things, so you're having to get a lot closer to the boss. And your defense is the lowest in the game, other than for Tavernkeep armors. So I just don't see how it's not the hardest to use class. It has benefits, like being able to AFK essentially with still doing damage. Like, it's great for fishing. As a utility, it makes the game easier, I would say. But if you're using it as a class against bosses and events, I wouldn't say that it's I would say that it's definitely the hardest class in the game. There's my net worth going into the lava there. Well, that mimic died. So yeah, the next one is the most popular Terraria content tends to be the least creative, and I think I would be somewhere neutral or like slightly agree or disagree on this, because there's certain like big creators that do just make stuff that's very low creativity, and it does really well because they're really big creators. But at the same time, I do think that the Terraria niche is quite open to new channels and new ideas from those channels. Like, I've probably felt more progression and growth in this niche than I would have if I was doing like Minecraft, because there's so many Minecraft channels that are doing similar things that you can't possibly stand out, whereas in Terraria there's less YouTubers, there's less people making creative videos, and you can make a really creative video and stand out, which I think is good. And it seems for the most part that YouTube will push those videos and a lot of people will give them a chance, you know. If you're wanting to watch a Minecraft video that the thumbnail looks good and the title looks good but it's only got 30 views, I think you'd be a lot less likely to click on that than you would if it was a Terraria video that had 30 views. You're just a bit more willing to give things a chance within the Terraria niche, or at least I am. And maybe that's because it's really easy to indicate through your thumbnail and title in Terraria what sort of vibe the video is going to have. Like, you can tell fairly easily if it's going to be a challenge video or like a let's play or something like a guide, whereas when you click on a Minecraft video you don't know whether that's going to be like a really chill let's play where they're going to build like nice things, or if it's going to be a hyper edited, super fast, like you something happening every 5 seconds on screen, you know. So yeah, I think that I'm somewhere in the middle. There's those big YouTubers that get by with not slop, like it's well produced content, it's just not very creative compared to some of the smaller channels and what they're putting out. But they certainly are people that get a lot of views doing less than creative things. I'd say half a year ago I would 100% agree, but currently I'd say it's less so, but still prevalent. Yeah. Yeah, I think it is changing over time, which is a good thing. How long have you been in hell? Depends how you define hell. No, I've spent most of this stream in hell, to be fair, so maybe an hour overall in hell. An hour and 15 minutes or so. Because this is the only bed in my world, I believe. More multi-class armor would be nice. Yes, it would be. The Old One's army armors are really interesting in terms of encouraging people to use different classes while still benefiting from Summoner. And I think that Summoner almost should have just stayed a support class. Like, it should have been possible to beat the game as a Summoner, but instead of, I don't know, maybe it shouldn't have had summon damage in the first place. Maybe it should have stayed as mage damage. Maybe mage would feel more unique if that was the case. And then you could have some melee weapons that are quote-unquote summon weapons, like the flying knife or the blade staff. You know, that could have been a melee weapon, and melee characters could have got summons, and then ranged characters could have got something like the Black Hawk remote in Calamity, which uses ammo to shoot, but it's a minion. The Summoner mains are going to kill you. Yeah. I love Summoner, but I do have to wonder, in an alternate universe where Summoner was never added, but a lot of the same ideas were added, would the game be better? It's all well and good to look at what we have now and see that what we have now is good and assume that that means it's the best, but that's maybe not the case. And I can't say whether the alternative would be better. I just have a question that came into my head. What is the point of the Zenith when it's post-Moonlord? As a trophy, I guess, like a collector's item, you know? If you've gone through the whole game and collected these swords as you go, then yeah, it's a nice thing to get, because it's by far the most powerful weapon in the game. Other than certain situations with the last prism, I guess. Yeah, it's like Daytime Empress of Light, exactly. In an alternate universe, Terraria is in its best state. The difference, throwing class, 100% truth. I kind of agree. I think that Terraria would be better with a throwing class, and I think that yo-yos and boomerangs should be part of that throwing class. Yo-yos are throwing weapons. They are not melee weapons. You throw a yo-yo out. You know, you're not wielding the yo-yo like a sword or spear or like a halberd or something. You're throwing it. You throw boomerangs. It's not connected to the player at all. At least with the yo-yo, like it's connected by a piece of string, sure. You could claim that it's a melee weapon because of that. But, oh, traveling merchant. What we got? What we got? That's down in the caverns. Ah, nothing. Essentially, nothing. Let's see if the yeah, she's selling the jetpack. It's cheap enough. I'm gonna go for it. Retiring my fledgling wings. Oh, look at that flight time. Wow. Okay, now what do I want to use instead of the sandstorm? I could keep using the sandstorm. You seriously got me on yo-yo / boomerang thrower class ideology now. I love the idea. I'm glad you like it. I'm sure I'm not the first one to come up with it, but I mean, Calamity adds what's basically a throwing class and has boomerangs as part of that, so they've certainly thought of it, but yo-yos just make sense to me to be there as well. And then I feel like you could start adding those more unique things to melee, like the parrying with swords or throwing spears, although again, throwing spears, maybe that's not a good idea if you've then got a throwing class. I feel like Terra Prisma and Daytime Empress of Light was made for Summoner. You get one shot of Summoner anyway, and the Terra Prisma is a Summoner weapon. Yeah, that makes sense to me as well. I think you've probably got it right there. I think it's melee because it's so close range, and ranged weapons usually use ammo. I'm not sure what you mean by that. You can hold up with it too. Also then a Featherfall potion, you go really far. Interesting, I didn't know that. I probably won't bother with that, I don't know if it's needed, but... Bone Javelin is a throwing spear. It is. It should be in the throwing class. I mean, it was for a while. I'm kind of sad that they decided the throwing class was just going to get destroyed in 1.4. I wonder how many non-ammo using ranged weapons there are in vanilla. There's 4, I believe, because I've looked into this for a playthrough. There's the paintball gun, the harpoon, the the toxic fish thing that you get from the corruption fishing, and the piranha gun. I think that's all there is. I'm counting all of the consumable weapons as like ammo. They cooked with Empress of Light and Terra Prisma. Spectral Sword summons are also just sick as fuck. They are, and your gif of them is also, or the animation you made of them is also sick, I must say. You were talking about yo-yos. Yeah. It makes sense if you were never going to have a throwing class to make them melee, but if you're going to have a throwing class, they should be in the throwing class. Let's see if we get another traveling merchant in the same 2 days. Okay, the next prompt. 1.4.5 will be the final update to Terraria. Strongly disagree. It's going to keep getting updated, probably for the next, like, 20 years, I reckon. I seriously think that 20 years from now, they will still be making updates to Terraria. They might have another game that they're working on as well that's been released for 10 years at that point, but they're going to come back to Terraria and they're going to say, you know what, I want to add this. Maybe it's a thing from the other game, who knows? Or maybe it's from another game, they're like, oh, I want to do a crossover with such and such, and they're just going to keep doing it forever. It's never going to end. And I love that. Once again, nothing useful. Interesting how the jetpack works. It's never the final update. It's not. Which ties into the next question of, I would rather Relogic works on a sequel than further updates to Terraria. I'm conflicted on this. Because I feel like the sequel could be really good, but it could also just feel like a bit underwhelming compared to base Terraria. It got brought up in the video that, like, you've got all this crossover content and years worth of updates in Terraria. And, like, how do you capture that same feeling in a sequel? Unless you're going for something like Otherworld, where it's not meant to be, you know, Terraria 2, it's another game set within the same universe as Terraria. You can have common items, but maybe things work differently, who knows? Can't you combine the balls and balloons with the Goblin Tinkerer? Unfortunately, I can't get the Goblin Tinkerer because I don't have enough health to summon the goblins. You need 200 health to summon the Goblin army, and I have no way of getting health, so... I'm Terraria long lifespan gang myself. I can imagine its lifespan similarly to Team Fortress 2. Yeah, I feel like Terraria might outlast Minecraft, which is a bold statement to make because Mojang have said that they want Minecraft to last like 50 years. But, like, you get the vibe from Minecraft updates that, like, they're adding stuff because they need to have an update every year. You know, they're like, oh, it's that time of year again, we need to start thinking about what we're going to add. Oh, let's have a big meeting about what we're going to add in the next update. Whereas with Terraria, you have, like, Redigit or Senex being like, oh, I want to add X to the game. I'm going to do it. And then they add it. And then they release it as an update. And there's no, like, oh, we need to have a meeting to find out how balanced X is before we add it to the game. Oh, it's not going to be balanced enough or realistic enough because, you know, frogs can't eat fireflies. So we're not going to add it. And it's like, does that matter? If it makes the game better, surely you should just add it regardless. Let's see if we get another spawn. No spawn tonight. if they make a sequel, how much content would they leave behind? If they're not leaving any content behind, then they might as well just make it a huge update. The issue is the engine that Terraria runs on is a bit outdated and limited. So yeah, it's like they've only got 4 liquid slots in the game, which is why Shimmer was added. But if they wanted to add another liquid, say like a poison liquid, or I mean, because you know what red is like, a sewage liquid, maybe made from poo blocks, they wouldn't be able to do that because the engine only allows for 4. Unless they like refactored the whole thing and tried to update it within the same engine, but I don't see that happening personally. So yeah, if they want to add too much to the game, they're going to have to make a Terraria 2 with a new engine. The thing is that updating Terraria rather than making another game are the only 2 options for them. They could just move on to other things from video games or into other software. That's true, but no one really... I think they want to make games. From what I've seen, the culture there is very much like they love making games and they love Terraria. And exactly like Uber says, Minecraft has updates because they're expected to. Terraria has updates because they want to. And I think that there may be big breaks where they don't want to make updates, like 5 years or 6 years, but over the next few decades, they're going to just come back and come back and come back. And when Red is 73, he's going to decide one day, you know what, I want to add X to the game, and he's going to add it. Compare that to Mojang. I feel like oh, another travelling merchant. They kind of gave up on adding stuff to the game when Microsoft bought them for like exciting ideas. Like, no one was excited about adding a lot of those things to the game, but they just got added anyway. Let's get some extra fur. That's all that's useful here, annoyingly. Yeah, I mean, the update Aquatic, I guess, had some creativity to it, and the Nether update did, but a lot of it just feels like people in a boardroom deciding what to add to the game. Nothing in Terraria feels like that. There's not a single thing in Terraria where I'm like, oh, they half-baked that and did the minimum. There's a few things where I'm like, oh, it'd be nice if they expanded more on that, but it's not like they're refusing to add things to the game because they're not realistic or because, you know, it doesn't teach kids the right morals or something. The only way I would make a Terraria 2 is just make the world infinite. I could see that working, but I do like that Terraria is limited. Like an infinite Terraria, how would that work with it being 2D? Like, you wouldn't be able to have a home as easily because, you know, you teleport home and then if you want to get back to the same place, you have to travel thousands and thousands of blocks. And it's not like you could travel in a much different direction. Like, you could go through the sky or through the caves instead of on the surface, but realistically it's the same. It's going to be the same, or you're going to have a lot of trouble getting through it. Whereas with a 3D game, there's many different ways to get to a place. Like, most of the time you're not walking in a straight line the first time you get somewhere, so if you then want to go back, you can walk in a straight line to it because you know where it is now. The thing that they could do is just make a full remake with a better engine, so technically a port, so that they could keep working on Terraria, since there is a limit to update what Terraria is now. Yeah, that would be a really good way of doing it, I think. Just saying, we're gonna do Terraria 2. At the moment, it's the same as Terraria 1, but just runs better and has more options in the future for what we can add. I could see that working. An infinite world would not add much to the gameplay, honestly. Yeah, I agree. It's not that sort of game. I think in general, infinite worlds are seen as a better thing than they are. Like, I don't think you needed Minecraft to have an infinite world for it to be as successful as it is. A lot of people seem to think that that's the reason it became so successful, but it's maybe one of the small reasons, but realistically, it's the building that made Minecraft successful, not the infinite world. Infinite world would mean all world rendering would no longer be viable, a factor for farms, I'd say. Do you mean like taking an image of the whole world? Or do you mean for like viewing the map? I don't know how it would work on the map. Like, how far would you have to zoom out to see other places? Unless they changed it so you don't need things like a home and there wasn't NPCs, or maybe the NPCs are at certain places in the world, I don't see that working. Terraria, but it's a 2.5D pixel art game. So not a bad idea. The biggest problem with infinite worlds is that you then need an infinite amount of things to fill that world with. Yes, that's a really good point. And because it's all procedural generation, it can start to feel a bit samey between worlds, even though, you know, it's a different world. Like, I know it's technically random each time you generate a world in Minecraft, but they tend to feel very similar for 99% of the world. You know, you're going to see the same desert pyramid, you're going to see the same jungle temple. What if Minecraft was a limited world with one desert and one jungle temple that had a more intricate system surrounding them? Maybe you can't build within them or break blocks. Maybe there's better loot and you can refresh them like trial chambers. I don't see the need for Minecraft to be infinite, other than maybe for like mining, but then there's ways to resolve that as well. Yeah, that was bad wording. I meant currently Terraria rendered the entire world all the time. Infinite world would make that implausible. Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. I think more varied world types would be cool, completely change standard generation and biome layout, very tall worlds, that sort of thing. Yeah, that's the sort of thing that I could still see them doing in this game engine, just with like secret seeds and stuff. They've not played too much with like altering base terrain gen. They've done things like adding more structures or swapping the granite and marble cave types, but I could see them doing like an amplified world gen or something, like in Minecraft. That would be quite cool for a secret seed. I mean, Minecraft isn't really infinite, it's just really big. True. Too big, I would say, for like one person to explore all of it. Yeah, it's effectively infinite. From a human's perspective, it's infinite. It's not about the amount of space given in a game, it's what's done with the space. It's a good quote that you just came up with right there. I think it's a good concept to live by. You don't need the game to be infinite to feel like it's infinite. I don't think people feel limited by the space in Terraria. But maybe people feel limited by the infinite space in Minecraft. Which is a bit of a paradox, because like, how can you feel limited by infinite space? Well, you could feel like you've not found the right place to settle down. You could feel like there's a better biome out there somewhere in the world. And you can be limited in that, you know, you could just keep exploring forever and ever and never settle down because you're just hoping for something better, or you're wanting to get that next bit of loot. Maybe that's not the best way to play. I don't know. That's me out of topic, so if you want to give any Terraria takes that you want to hear my opinion on, feel free to leave a comment on the stream. It can be a bit modded stuff or vanilla, I don't mind really. Honestly though, instead of infinite worlds, being able to sail to other islands in Terraria would be kinda neat. Yeah, that would be interesting. Like, at the moment I guess Terraria is kinda set up like a multiverse. But if it was that it was different islands within the same world, that'd be quite cool. Why are you still in hell? Are you praying for eternal damnation? I'm sleeping. I'm just an EP little guy. And this is the only bed in the world because we can't craft any. There might be one over here actually, somewhere in one of these houses, but yeah, there's one there. This is the easiest one to get to. Just a little snoozer in the underworld. It's nice and warm down here, what can I say? Do you think Poltergeist is just blue Plantera? I think Poltergeist started out as that, but it's developed since then. It feels much more like its own boss now. I mean, for a while the prevailing theory was that it was like the spirit of Plantera, but then the lore came out that it was like an amalgamation of different souls that were stuck in the dungeon. I don't know, maybe being the ghost of Plantera is a better lore, to be honest. I do wonder if we'll get a Poltergeist respite before Yaren. Not to throw shade at the fact that the Yaren respite is much needed. It has been for a long time, but... yeah, hopefully soon. Spooky ghost amalgamation, indeed. It doesn't have the little spore tentacle things, which is good. They're just a nuisance in the Plantera fight, because like Plantera is a single target boss, but you've got these spores that are just absorbing all your single target weapon DPS, which is just sad. And especially in higher difficulties, they have so much health. A lot of mods have bosses that usually start out as a stronger or weaker copy of an already existing boss that over time becomes a boss of its own. Yeah, it's like the old Duke. That was like a stronger version of Duke Fishron, but I would say now feels much more like its own thing. It'd be nice to see a young Duke that was in pre-hard mode, but whether we get that or not is another thing. Hi, it's been a while, how are you? Yeah, I'm pretty well thanks. How are you? What is your favourite variant of Servants of the Scourge? Which variants are there? I honestly can't recall them right off the top of my head. But, yeah. No hate on Yaren, but we're Yaren. For his army may shine bright, so do the lies in his eyes. Have you heard the Yaren fan song, Ignite My Flame, It Rocks? I haven't heard that, I'll need to give that a listen. Do you wish for any specific game to have a crossover with Terraria? I mean, more Stardew stuff would be nice. I know that they've got a few items, like the Joja Cola and the pet and everything, but... like, there's so much in both games that you could definitely get more. What they've got's cute, but there's like nothing too functional, I guess. And then you could add more Minecraft stuff, I guess. Like you could add a trident from Minecraft or a crossbow or something, which I think would be cool. Of course, we need the Fortnite crossover. Not gonna lie, that would probably do a lot for Terraria's popularity. And it's the sort of meme that I could see them going for. I could see it happening. We've already got a few weapons that are, like, basically guns from Fortnite. I could see them doing a crossover. I could see Core Keeper getting a crossover with Terraria. Yeah, I've still to play that, but from what I've seen of other people playing it, it seems like a good fit. Add a Totem of Undying in a special Illager raid event, maybe. That's a really good idea for a mod that someone should make. Or maybe I will make. Yeah, I've considered adding some Minecraft stuff to Terraria as a mod before, and Illagers would be one of them. Like a Totem of Undying equipable, like an accessory. There's a lot of content you could add through that, like the crossbows, and you could add Vexes as like a summon item and everything. Hollow Knight crossover. Dungreed crossover or an Archvale crossover both could work. I haven't played either of those, so I can't say for sure. Terraria crossover, that's never going to happen. You're insane. I looked into Core Keepers. Apparently they got the standard classes, melee, range, mage, summoner, but also support like chef, gardener, explorer, etc. That sounds quite interesting. I'm intrigued to see like how a chef would do in combat, or like how does a gardener do against a boss. Terraria would never cross over with the likes of Terraria. How absurd. I know, they should do a Terraria Otherworld crossover. That's much more, like, in line with Terraria, I think. This is taking a while. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'll be back. I am back. What is your favourite part / meme of Get Fixed Boy? Mechadusa is kind of a pretty goated thing to add to the game. Like just randomly deciding to add an entire boss, essentially, that's... I mean, people have done Mecha Mayhem since the mechs were added. And then adding that as like an official thing with like... with a boob joke as part of it. Pff, insane. Sorry, almost choked there, so I had to mute my mic. A mini event to purify the evil biome with a cleansing pylon or something that you can place in the evil biome. That takes 1 to 5 minutes and purifies an area horizontally but infinitely vertically. It would just be a horde protection, and you could start many at once, but would also need to protect them all. It could be a really interesting event, like Old One's Army, but instead of an Eternia Crystal, it's some sort of cleansing pylon, like you say. And you have to protect that pylon from like corruption or crimson enemies that keep attacking. I think that would be a really interesting way to do the whole... there's like a mod, I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it's like... the concept is that placing purification powder on a pylon keeps corruption and crimson back in a certain range. I think that your idea would be a more balanced way of doing that. And it needs to be short, since then it won't become a pain in the ass to do. It could be somewhere in the mid-range, I think. Not short, but not fast. Right, we getting a spawn? We're not getting a spawn. We be sleeping. This is maybe the most I've slept in a Terraria playthrough. This be the epiest playthrough in existence. What are you sleeping for? Something specific from the trader. Either from the Wandering Trader or getting a boss to spawn naturally. I think we could maybe take on the Destroyer now, to be honest. I don't know if high velocity bullets would be better than exploding ones. I should maybe make more exploding bullets so I've got the option at least. But that's... yeah, let's do that. Let's get a few more exploding bullets going. Good to have the option. Yeah, currently there's not much I can do other than sleep. I mean, I could not sleep, but then it would just take a lot longer. Instead of sequel, it would be funny if Terraria had a DLC. Equivalent of Elden Ring's Shadow of Erdtree DLC, paid or not, whole discussion. Maybe then introduce sailing and multi-island worlds. I'd be down for a DLC. If they ever want to add something that they feel is like so different that they couldn't release it as part of Terraria, then yeah, I could see that happening. I wonder if that would work better with a new engine though, like I said, Terraria 2, but we're going to add DLC as well, sort of thing. And they've made it clear that they're not doing this for money, is the thing. Like, it feels like Minecraft is updating because it knows that that adds sales. But I get the impression from the Terraria devs that they really don't care about game sales. Like, they've got enough to pay the bills, they've got enough to pay their employees as well. Relogic doesn't seem to really care about making money as much as a lot of other game companies do. Which makes sense, they're one of the most successful game companies ever, and they've released like one big game. It could have all the pylons be inactive till you turn one on, and then they're all linked, meaning you can set them up and purify an entire biome all at once. But it would also increase the length and difficulty. Well, maybe you connect them like power lines, and destroying any of the crystals like stops everything that's connected on that end of it. So you really need to protect all of the pylons at once, or there's no real reason to do what you're doing. Don't you need to destroy an altar for mech bosses to spawn? You do, but thankfully we have done that without picking up any items using this little meteor right here. That's why there is barrels placed all around the world. Like, you can see different barrels here, because meteors cannot spawn within 30 blocks of a barrel or chest. So by using barrels and chests, I could specifically place the meteor into this area, or this area as well, so that it'll break an altar. Which, until TerraSteel put out a video about it, was a very unknown mechanic. No shades to TerraSteel, that was a really good video, by the way. You should go watch it. But it was like the next stream that I was going to do, I was going to reveal this. And it was going to be like, whoa, you can do that? And then everyone was like joining the stream saying, didn't TerraSteel already do this? I'm like, no, TerraSteel hasn't done it. They've just theorized it. And they're currently trying to do it with Adventure 32 in For the Worthy, which, and they're also trying to use One World. I don't see it happening. Considering the struggles I've gone through with infinite money and using different seeds that have got different benefits, like getting the warding on all of my accessories, I personally don't see it happening. But we'll see. Ah yes, my favourite way of destroying altars, summoning a meteor from the heavens. It's the only way, isn't it? Controlling the laws of nature to break a single block. Yes. It's the equivalent of like some kind of cult trying to place like standing stones throughout the world to manipulate the weather, right? Like, if you're a resident of the Terraria world and some guy starts placing barrels next to your house and you're like, why are you doing this? And he tells you it's because it will change where a meteor is going to spawn. You'd surely have to look at them with a bit of doubt and wonder what's going on inside their brain. And then one day you wake up and there's a meteor exactly where he said it would fall. And you have to come to terms with the fact that the world is a bit more deterministic than you thought it was. And that's why Terraria does existential horror so well. I like the idea of purifying pylons. Alliteration label be funny. If you have multiple linked together with lines, enemies could attack the lines themselves. If all the lines are damaged, pylons fail. Yeah, I think it would be a really interesting way to do it rather than the whole contaminator or purification powder. Standing stones to manipulate the weather headcanon is fire, no lie, when you're releasing Terraria novel. That feels more like a Minecraft mod. Like, you place down a structure and it can't rain within like 40 blocks of that location, like a beacon. And then if you place it around the entire world, you know, assuming the Minecraft world isn't infinite and is a lot smaller than it currently is, you could like stop rain for an entire server. And if you've got a better water system, like a lot of mods add, maybe that water then gets used and can't be replenished. It would just stop that event flat and the pylon that destroyed would be lost. So you just replace it or start over with one less, and they should be linked automatically since it would make the event a bigger hassle. Yeah, I borrowed the lines being damaged from a Deep Rock Galactic mission. I need to play that. I keep hearing so many good things about Deep Rock Galactic, but I've never played it. I could see them, from what I've seen of the game, I could see them adding some things to this, to Terraria from Deep Rock Galactic. It feels like that could work from what I've seen. It definitely appears to have a very similar player base. Are we gonna get Traveling Merchant today? Please get me one. I don't want to have to go through another half hour of sleeping. I should specify a Traveling Merchant with a good weapon sale. What's your favourite pre-Moonlord Calamity track? Let's be real, all the post-Moonlord bosses always slap. Pre-Moonlord, I mean, Crabulon's kind of the go-to one that everyone says. Let me get the whole thing up so I can see what there is. I'm gonna get the playlist up on my phone. I mean, Corrosion is a pretty good soundtrack, but that's more for a biome than a boss. So if it's for bosses specifically, then probably Infestation, Crabulon theme. However, if I'm allowed biomes, then I would say that Corrosion is really good. The Cryogen one is also really good. Aquatic Scourge kind of slaps as well. I mean, they're all good is the thing. Pretty fun game. I love playing Scout and grapple hooking around while mining and fighting bugs. Need to play it more. Player base is pretty chill, I've heard. DRG X Terraria crossover for real though. Crimson track goes so for real. Do you mean the Crimson boss one? What's it called? The Perforator's track. That is a pretty good one, I'd have to say. Any of the guitar heavy ones are really good. But yeah, like the best overall probably are the post Moonlord ones. It definitely feels like you've got to the end of a journey and you're now going through some like existential space battles with god-eating worms. Oh, my throat is getting so dry from all this talking. I'm used to a bit more action with these streams, but so far I think 90% of it's been sleeping and talking. I was off topic referring to the Vanilla Crimson theme. Yeah, the Vanilla Crimson theme is really good. Honestly, I do not think they could have got a better person to write the Vanilla soundtrack than Scott Lloyd Shelley. Like, it fits the game so unbelievably well. Like, the game would not be the same without the soundtrack that Scott Lucelli made. And he's still there making, like, absolute bangers for the next update. Like, have you heard the Eater of Worlds one? I was using that in a video that I was editing earlier today, and it's such a good song for that boss. It goes so hard. What if instead of the Crimson, what if instead of the world evil spreading, they just have both the Crimson and Corruption in one world? You've kind of got that with the Drunk world. That has both. And for the Worthy as well, I think. How did we go from taking down mech bosses to a talk session while sleeping in hell? I honestly don't know. This is the way that I take down the mech bosses though. This is literally the only way that I can get them to spawn in this playthrough, is just to wait for them to spawn naturally. And it's a 10% chance each day. So at like 5 to 6 minutes each day, it's going to take like an hour for one to spawn. Just drunk and get fixed by have both. Okay, okay. The crazy thing about this playthrough is that any damage boost I get is going to be worth so much more than it usually would be, because you'd usually already have like, say 50% damage and crit bonus without focusing on it, just from like armor and a few accessories alone, and reforges, whereas in this playthrough, so like the incremental change of a 5% when you've already got 50 is like an extra 10% damage, I guess, based on the 50% that you've got already. I don't know if I'm wording that very well. Probably not. Yeah, an extra 10% damage when you've already got a 50% damage boost would be 1/15 of your damage extra, whereas when I've got a 0% damage boost, an extra 10% is 1/10. So that same 10% is doing a lot more in this playthrough. Also, the original painkillers are starting to wear off, so it's starting to get really painful. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that that does not last long. When Eater of Worlds track drops in streaming apps like Spotify, you have no idea of the things I'm about to do. Yeah, it's really unfortunate that the only one that we've got at the moment is a YouTube video that's got like the boss fight in the background, because at the start it's got the summon noise for the boss, and at the end it's got the boss getting defeated as like a sound. So it's really hard to use in videos at the moment, because either way, like it loops, so you can start halfway through, but then when you get to the end you're hearing extra noises, or you can start at the start and get extra noises and get nothing at the end. So assuming that you only want one loop of it. If you want it to loop, then you're gonna get something at the start and end. It feels like we really front loaded our luck with the amount of mech spawns and travelling merchant spawns that we got. Like, we got 3 in a row, I'm pretty sure, just after killing the twins, and since then we've got none. This is so fun. I'm really glad I'm doing this playthrough. Well, you know what? I'm really glad I'm not doing this playthrough in master mode for the Worthy. In one world. With very limited money and 2 people in multiplayer. This is some high octane gameplay, it really is. You guys should be so happy that you were here to witness this. it's going to be one of those that, like, if you missed it, you're never going to see it because this isn't going to be in the video because it's so boring. You can't even fish while waiting. Yeah, I can do nothing, basically, because I've already searched, like, all of this world as well for the stuff that's useful. I mean, I could search for more chests here, but there's not really any use for them. I've already got the best things that I can get. I can't take down any weapons to get better things. I really am just stuck. The first part was sarcastic. The part about For the Worthy was not sarcastic, because there's people that are doing that, and given how hard that mech fight was to actually beat in time, the fact that they're doing it in multiplayer, so the boss is going to have more health, and they're not going to have the reforges that I have, and it's going to be in master mode, I genuinely don't know if it's possible for Terraria and Adventurer 32 to do this in For the Worthy, because the bosses are just going to have too much health. Like, they're not going to have the damage to get through the mech bosses before they despawn. Multiplayer and bosses, scary, exactly. It's not a thing you should put yourself through. Yeah, they will be one-shot by anything at all in hard mode. I think everything will do over 120 damage, even through their defense. Yeah, I think so. And they're going to have very limited potions as well. I mean, I have the advantage of, like, if I want to just brute force a fight and, you know, attempt it 10 times in a row, as long as I go looking through worlds to get more potions, I can do that. But they're going to be very limited with the amount of potions they can use. And the ones that come from, like, the shadow chests, even more limited. They might get, like, 3 life force potions to use in the entire world. Nah, just cheat, spawn boss, then join server. I think they might have to, and it does work that way, I'm pretty sure. Gonna have to take my lizard to the vets, but it's nice to have something to relax to while I wait for the appointment, so I guess I'm not too upset with just Terraria music and the odd question. I'm sorry that your lizard isn't doing too well. I hope that it's nothing too serious. I wonder if Terraria and Adventurer 32 have done any DPS tests. Because sure, they could get lucky with a Zappinator, but outside of that, are they going to be able to do the playthrough? Are they going to even be able to get 2 sets of meteor armor? They seem to think that they can get through all of hard mode with the Zappinator, but I don't know if that's possible. Yeah, I may have to send a message to them and just say, like, it might be worth checking that it's possible to do the mech bosses in master mode before you get there. Because it's a long way to go to then realise that it's not possible. They won't win at all as it is now. I'm not seeing it possible, yeah. It's just what's going to stop them, I guess, is the question at this point. It's not whether they're going to be stopped, it's like, how far will they get before they stop? I believe in Terraria. I hope that they manage it. I just don't have much faith in the way that they're doing the challenge. They've made it about as difficult as they possibly can, other than doing it in... No, they couldn't actually do it in Get Fixed Boy because there's no way of getting out of hell. So they've made it literally as difficult as they can. I guess they could have done it in Master Mode and then it would have bumped up to Legendary Mode, but... Yeah, I don't know why they've done it that way. they underestimated how hard it would be on one world. Only one world is a hard limiter for sure. Oh, if they were doing it on multiple worlds, I would be much more... It would be much more believable that they could get through it. Even with the master mode stipulation and the fact that it's further worthy. It's the fact that they're limited with reforges, with potions, with money. All the stuff that you are limited in when you only have one world just make it impossible to really consider it viable. Please give us a traveling merchant today. Is there anything else I can get now that I've defeated one mech boss? I don't think so, but... It's been so long since I researched the run that I can't remember at this point. I should have prepared something more. I should have prepared like a tier list or something to do while I wait. There is little to any ways to literally no-hit mechs with their mobility options, since no Moonlord legs even, and no wings till they do, and probably only clouds for jumps, maybe blizzard or two if they are lucky. Yeah, they might get a single sandstorm in a ball, but they're not going to get two of them. I don't see them dodging the mechs that well with that limited mobility, and I don't see them being able to do enough damage to them. In Monster Hunter, to defeat a monster you either get better gear or get good. Of course, in Terraria, lacking resources with any theoretical amount of skill often means an enduring and lengthy fight. The problem is I don't even know if you can get good enough in that case. Like I don't know if like you would be able to do, like if a human would be able to damage the bosses enough with the options available, because they can't just get better gear, and there's a limit to how well you can get at the game. Why does Celebration Mark II feel more like a mining weapon with the destruction it can do? That's only with certain rockets. You can use rockets that don't destroy tiles. I've never used Celebration Mark 1 or 2, but I'm going to be using Celebration Mark 1 in this seed. 1 in a million chances. It's funny to think about, even though it's not really humanly possible. Again, like unless they get really lucky with the Zappinator, I don't know if it's possible. And the fact that every time they lose a fight, they're going to have to go through this, of just waiting 10 days on average for the next one to start. Need to get more music on. Yeah, like technically anything's possible with the Zappinator, because you could get like 300 times damage shots in a row, or whatever the biggest modifier is. But the chances are so astronomically low that you shouldn't be relying on that for a playthrough. Like if there's nothing that you can do to increase your chances, then I don't think it's going to be a fun playthrough. Just try 1 million attempts and keep saying nah, I'd win, and Sisyphus it up. I personally wouldn't have the patience for that, but if they do, then that's up to them. If you do, then you can go ahead with that. Personally, I got other things to do. I've got videos to edit, or I've got videos to procrastinate editing, which is the more common thing. If they can't get better gear or do better, they're just going to have to hope for perfect RNG in the fight. Yeah, like, it literally could come down to Zapinator RNG, which also requires RNG to get. Like, there's so many layers of RNG because they're only using one world, so they can get bad RNG and not get enough gold to buy Zapinators. They can get bad RNG and have to wait like many hours to get a traveling merchant to sell one. They could get bad RNG when they're fighting and then not get any of the good rerolls for the Zapinator. Who are you talking about? This is TerraSteel and Adventure32 who are doing this same challenge, but for the Worthy Master mode. And in one world. So I've been allowing world hopping so that I can go to like a Celebration Mark 10 world and get a bunch of really well reforged items, or I can go to a Drunk world and get lots of wood. And from all of those places I've been getting a lot of money as well, but since they're going to be limited to one world, they're going to be limited to the amount of money in the chests in that one world, because originally we were both under the opinion that this guy here would help get infinite money, but it turns out that he doesn't put the money straight into your inventory, he just ejects it into the world on top of the player, so that's not going to work. Damage should be okay if they are lucky with the right weapon from the Travelling Merchant at the start of hard mode with Sergeant United Shield, since it's definitely good enough with 2 people having it. Is it though for Master, the fact that they've got no damage boosts as well? Kill a mech, since aside from RNG Hell is the Zapinator, it's the only good zero ammo weapon that can do well on Plantera and Golem too. I like the idea of trying these kinds of challenges, emphasis on the idea. I like wholly unoptimal challenges regarding time allocation. It'd be fun to do a 100 or so attempts on a routine basis. If you're looking for one like that, then I could really recommend the Calamity low percent. That was like a really unoptimal run. Especially for the first, well, for the midsection I would say. From like the Wall of Flesh to the Destroyer of Gods was a really unoptimal place in the low percent run. Wall of Flesh was fine because, I mean, even in vanilla you're able to take down the Wall of Flesh as your first boss, and having all the additional options from Calamity just makes it kind of easier almost. As much as it gives like extra health and attacks to the wall, I would say that it was about as easy as it would be in vanilla. Then you have to jump straight from the Wall of Flesh to the Lunatic Cultist with Cobalt and Palladium gear, which is not as hard as the next part, which is that if you don't defeat the Moonlord with this Cobalt tier weapons and accessories, except for the pillar weapons, you get pillar weapons, which is nice. Then you have to go through the Lunatic Cultist and pillars once again. And after that, you're able to kill Ravager and Calamitas clone, which is nice. I didn't kill Calamitas clone because I wanted to go for the low percent on Exomechs first as well. So just Ravager for a few upgrades from like shimmering the ores that he drops. Then you have to go straight to Dog, which is awful because you've not got many of the accessories you'd usually get at that point. You kind of have to go with a lot of early hard mode accessories still. Even ones that usually would be available, like the Amalgamated Brain, aren't available. Like that's a very early hard mode option, and you get 2 of the parts of it from bosses, and so you just cannot get it in a low percent run without adding those bosses to the list. Destroyer is either going to be a shit show or a piece of cake. I'm not so informed on Terraria in depth. Learning and trying a challenge at least once is something I'd like. Yeah, you maybe want to start with an easier one than low percent then, because it was definitely one of the harder ones. Solar eclipse. Is there anything I can get from a solar eclipse? Does that change what people sell at all? Let me have a look on the wiki real quick. So I could buy purple solution or red solution from the Steampunker, which is entirely useless. I'm just gonna have to wait it out. Cyborg does sell different rockets, but I can't get the Cyborg yet, so. Depth Crusher or Blade Crest are the easiest options for Wall of Flesh with Molar Armor. Yeah, I think so. Like you suggested, the Cauldron would be a good option if you're better with aiming than I am. If you can like aim and dodge at the same time. But I am incapable of doing that, so. There's no point in me staying in hell just now. There's also no point in me being anywhere really. Ugh. This is just annoying. Let's get away from hell so that the thing can't spawn. The imps. Do the mech bosses have a health requirement or just the altar? Just the altar, thankfully. Most of the pre-hard mode bosses have a health requirement. Or not most of, but a lot of them. Okay, I'm going to go to the toilet and hope that nothing kills me just now. We'll see how that goes. Okay, I'm back. I've not been killed, which is nice. No travelling merchant, which is not. Yeah, you're talking about all of Bone Reaper's ideas for challenges that could be possibly impossible. Yeah, I've read some of the challenges you've planned. Absolute insanity, and kudos to you. Kudos are like, you're insane. Right, let's go have a look through the underworld. I don't think I've actually checked every chest here. I've got nothing better to do, so. I cannot sleep since it's the eclipse, so. Yeah, these things are just gonna giving me more money really. They're not essentials. What would be nice is more potions. Already got that one. Already got that one. May as well break these actually. What could be fun if you're wanting to do like a challenge run is the Zenith Swords Only challenge. That was like the first challenge run that I did. And I did it back in, oh that's a mimic. Yeah, I did it back before all of the sword changes, like the Blade of Grass and Night's Edge and all that. It's the first video that I did. So I would recommend that maybe, it's worth a try. They should add something in Terraria specifically designed to be long and grueling for the fun of it. I think that's what they were going with for the Zenith, to be honest, but it's nowhere near as long and grueling as like the Soul of Eternia in Fargo's. Do you have a yo-yo only run, or is that a done and old challenge for you? For Bone Reaper, I'm assuming. Well, you can just do a yo-yo only, the name tells you everything. Unfortunately, I don't think I've seen this video. Zenith challenge, as in only allowed weapons are related to Zenith. Yeah, so like all of the weapons that are used to craft the Zenith are allowed. So like you start out with the Enchanted Sword or Star Fury, or you can get a gold or platinum pickaxe to get the Blood Butcher or Lightsbane. So those are like your 4 initial possible weapons, and after that you then just like progress through the Night's Edge components as you would, get the Blade of Grass and the Beekeeper and all sorts. And then once you're in hard mode, you have to defeat one of the mech bosses without any hard mode weapons. Your best bet is either the Star Fury for range or the Night's Edge for damage. I would honestly recommend watching someone else do it who's done it more recently than mine. Like, mine was done so long ago that most of the weapons are changed now, whereas other people have done it since I've done it, and they're more up to date. So yeah, I would watch them if I were you. Infernum Skeletron is running rings around me right now because I am incapable of dodging and aiming at the same time, so I either do no damage or take too much damage. It's just the life of Infernum players, right? What is your favourite game besides Terraria? As cliche as it is, I'd probably have to say Minecraft. I kind of go through phases of like being very obsessed with one game at a time. I very rarely play like 2 games in a row, you know? Or like 2 games at once. I'm like interested in one game and one game only, and then suddenly one day I'll like run out of motivation to play that game. And then I'll pick another one. And for the last few years, those games have been just Minecraft and Terraria. Specifically modded Minecraft. I mean, the vanilla Minecraft's just a bit too boring at this point. the 2 weeks phase, but it's endlessly cycling with Terraria and Minecraft. That's the aim, really. But to be able to like make YouTube videos about both and not have the algorithm confused as to what your channel's supposed to be. Because that's the issue at the moment, is that you have to like train the YouTube algorithm on your specific channel and what you're going to be uploading. And if I suddenly decided I wanted to make Minecraft videos, it would still start pushing those to Terraria people first. Aiming and dodging at the same time. Summoners, I know no such weakness. Whip stacking enters the room. Indeed. Yeah, whip stacking is a bit too skilled for me. Part of me wants to try Infernum after this with Summoner, just to see how hard it is or easy. I feel like you could make Infernum quite easy with Summoner if you... Like, contrary to what I was saying about Summoner being the hardest class earlier on, I think in Calamity and Infernum it could possibly be the easiest if you go about it in the right way. Like if you go for all the Tavernkeep armor, go for full sentries, full minions and whips, like I feel like you could be doing a lot more damage than most other classes. It seems that a lot of the time the devs balance Summoner around minions and whips and forget about sentries, or assume that the player's gonna go full in on minions and then have sentries as like an afterthought. But because I've done sentries only playthroughs, I know how powerful certain sentries can be. Like if you go for a if you go for Valhalla armor with the Hive Pod and also use minions and whips, that's quite a powerful combination. Like probably more powerful than melee using some sword. Alternatively, I would like to multi-class and use melee and Summoner. In Calamity, melee is still the easiest class since you get good damage from weapons and can get the bulk from accessories. That's true. That's why I'm also considering doing a kind of hybrid melee and Summoner. Considering the Tavernkeep armors are so good, like you could get so much melee and summon damage from those. And then just use really tanky accessories that give overall damage boosts. With maybe the like accessories that give extra minion slots as well. Summoner is weak early and strong late game. Also, Summoner is a good hybrid class as it gives you free DPS if you have an extra weapon. That's true. I mean, in Calamity you get the 25% less damage if you're holding a different weapon, but it's not that crazy. Tavernkeep armor is cool, but the set bonus is underwhelming. It's... The thing about the Tavernkeep armor is it's like so designed for sentries that trying to use it for other stuff is going to feel underwhelming compared to other armors. In Calamity at least, I mean in vanilla I would say it's still really powerful for like single class. But if you're going to use sentries plus another class, it's like the best thing you can do. It's the best armor possible. I mean I was still using Valhalla armor on like the exomechs, because it's just so powerful for sentries. And if I could have used a melee weapon at the same time, then who knows? That could have been... and minions. If I was using minions, whips, and a melee weapon or something, that would have been a really powerful loadout. Still using a pre-Moonlord armor. Off topic, but I think it would be funny if whips had a right click that yanked enemies towards you. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I don't know if it would be helpful. Melee and ranged are the easiest, since if you want similar high DPS like Summoner, then forget the survivability and go for DPS accessories, and you will keep up just fine. Yeah, that's what makes me think maybe hybrid melee summoner would be a really interesting video. Like, title it something like Infernum is easy actually, and then just use a hybrid melee class that has super high defense, uses melee weapons and uses minions and sentries. Okay, that should hopefully be the solar eclipse over, right? I don't know why I didn't say that it was over though. Oh, why did I do that? It would usually say like the solar eclipse falls beyond the horizon or something like that, no? That's modded, not vanilla. Oh. I thought that was a vanilla thing. Okay, I think those are the only ones I need. The reason that I had an extra slot earlier was because of the archery potion. So time to go sleep again. It's rather annoying I didn't realise that the solar eclipse could spawn, because that means that I now go from a 1 in 10 chance of getting a mech to spawn to also a 1 in 10 chance that a solar eclipse happens, and then I have to just sit for 16 minutes doing nothing. The waiting has got to be the worst part of this playthrough so far. Like, as much as going through the worlds was a bit repetitive to get the items from chests, especially the Dune Rider boots with warding on them, like, it wasn't boring per se, it was just repetitive. I gave it more thought. Whip weapons in media often throw people around, so perhaps instead of right click could grab enemies and let you toss them in a given direction. Very un-Terraria like, I admit. What's more like a lead than a whip? I guess that could maybe work for weaker enemies. Like, you would have to not let it work on bosses or boss minions, I guess. The one saving grace is that events can't happen at night. Oh my, are you joking? Is this a joke? I 2 in a row? Really? 2 in a row? There's nothing I can do right now. Other than maybe search hell for more chests. Thing is, you need to build for one class specifically if you want to get good benefits, and half-assing 2 classes gets you worse results than just going with 1 in Calamity. You can then have minions for support, or just go summoner or use other weapons as a main weapon, as long as the main weapon deals more DPS is more than the lost 25% total summoner. Yeah. But also because of the Tavernkeep armor, you can multi-class reasonably efficiently without needing accessories for that. You can just use your armor for multi-classing, and your accessories can still focus on, like, defense. Because, I mean, Squire and Valhalla armor still are very much focused on survivability. But they also just happen to be really good for both melee and summoner. Have I been all the way out here? I have, yeah, that's where I fought the wall of flesh. This can't be where I defeated the wall of flesh, surely? Was it that quick? I guess so. Do you know that the exomech lasers beams have a weird death message? I did not know that, no. What I do know is that the exomechs might be my least enjoyable boss to fight in Calamity. It just feels way too much like laser spam. And I know that there is like a reason to all of the attacks and there is like a pattern going on, but it just doesn't feel very intuitive in the moment. It's not armor that's the problem, but the accessories, since unless you boost minion count, then Summoner is generally just not viable as a main, and melee, while it will do well as a main weapon on its own, it still generally needs armor to boost it, or to boost it to work rather than accessories. Yeah, that's why you would get the melee Old One's army armors, so you get the boost of the melee there. And then you can use a few summoner accessories depending on if your sentry is doing more damage than your melee weapon, or you can use melee weapons if your melee weapons are doing more damage than your sentries. Like you could change your loadout depending on what weapons you're using, basically. Like in some cases it would be better to use melee more like as your primary weapon, and in some it might be better to use sentries as your primary weapon, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I know about the blender, but I didn't know about Ohio Beam. Ohio Beam is new to me. Calamity really nerfs the stats for the Tavernkeep armors, and they're still really only usable late hard mode, since that will make you significantly weaker than just focusing on melee or summoner. Yeah, but what I mean is that like for certain bosses where focusing on sentries and minions makes sense, I could focus on sentries and minions, and then for others where focusing on melee makes sense, I could do that and still use the sentries and minions as like an extra backup. Don't really want to deal with that red devil. I don't really want to deal with this solar eclipse that's happening at the moment, but I'm kind of being forced to sit around and do nothing until it's done. Star Fury somehow still useful. No more chests in these buildings. Then just make 2 armor sets rather than trying to make 1 armor set work. But if you go for the Tavernkeep set, like even if your melee set is going to be better, I doubt that it's better than like an additional 3 sentries worth of damage. Especially if those sentries are like the cryogenic staff or the hive staff. Just hive pod it's called actually, isn't it? It would probably be. Do you think? I mean, are you getting that much from the melee armors? 141 damage, wow. That hurts. What I may do is just start mining out the entire uphill. Never mind. Post golem, yes it would be, and a mixed armor set at mechs would also probably do good. Okay, so hell's uninhabitable at the moment. Unless I'm in the protection of my home. I'm wondering, do I just do this part off stream? Because if I was off stream, I would be able to do other stuff at the same time and just keep like looking at my monitor. But because I'm streaming it, it's kind of hard to do that. But then I can't say I've streamed the whole thing. But like getting a new weapon, oh god, that red devil's gonna be awful. Yep, it is. Then where is all the evidence? Yeah. It would be good to have evidence, but it would just be nice if the evidence was more interesting to watch than this. Or more interesting to do. I mean, I guess I could just go silent and start watching a video with headphones in while nothing happens. But then that's not very fun for you guys to watch. But this also isn't very fun for you guys to watch, I do concede. The only issue is that it could be literally like 5 days of sleeping to get both mechs down, or it could be 30, I don't know. I do get that I am streaming a fishing playthrough myself, though not right now since I'm in pain. Yeah, maybe best not to do that when you're in pain, because it'll just make the pain worse. Especially because you know that it's not going to be around for much longer fishing. I'm really hoping that that changelog is a bit overblown and that they're not really nerfing fishing that much. But we'll have to see when the next update comes out. It might not be as bad as it sounds, but it also could be just as bad as it sounds. I like just mindless fishing, I just dislike the quests. Yeah. That's the issue with fishing, is that you have to go through the quests to get the good fishing stuff. Just getting enough gold crates for max HP is what's slowing me down a lot currently. Oh, I feel that. You're basically playing a... you're basically playing a skyblock when it comes to fishing for HP, which I've done twice in vanilla. So probably worse than than Calamity, but it's still pretty bad in Calamity. You just have to get as high a fishing power as you can, I guess, and hope for the best. Thankfully, there are accessories and stuff in Calamity that increase your fishing power more than vanilla could, and also increase your chance of getting a crate. So you just have to go through the quests to get those, I guess. One thing I would recommend is... Oh no, never mind. I'm thinking of getting hard mode ores. Yeah, if you're wanting hard mode ores, fish in lava, because you get like the titanium and adamantite from every chest that every crate that you fish up, rather than only getting it from the gold ones. I'm at 180 HP already, and I've been playing for over 8 hours. That's not that bad. I thought it would take longer to get to 180, to be honest. Considering you've got to get all the stuff to start fishing before you even get to the point of getting the lead crystals. How was I not hitting that? It doesn't matter anyway, that's fine. You have an average of 200 fishing power with what you have currently. That's not too bad. Even just sleeping until morning could help a lot, I guess. And then only fish between like 4 or half 4 or whatever it is, and 7, is it? Something like that. $4.30 to 6. Yeah, okay. I have done the run before, I just stopped at Providence then. Is that because there's like not much going on around Providence when it comes to fishing? Because I guess you could get the Eula Bloom from crates, but that's about it. What's the current goal? The current goal... First, I would like to get a weapon from the Travelling Merchant. Preferably the Orange Zapinator, to be honest, but the Sergeant's United Shield would also be good, and the Gatligator would also do quite well. After that, or alongside it, we can get the mix to spawn each night with a 1 in 10 chance. So that's the current goal, really. I can get over 600 fishing power in early hard mode in Calamity. What's the max in pre-hard mode? Or like pre-boss? I was just bad, so I wasn't able to beat Providence with Astral Gear at the time. Oh, okay. Suppose, yeah, you don't get any real benefits after Moonlord with fishing only. Or at least I can't think of any. I need to fish for souls and the 3 essences in early hard mode, so I'll just get ores along the side of that. Yeah, that's true. You probably get plenty in a normal fishing playthrough, to be honest. Sorry, just replying to Discord messages. I don't know the max for pre-boss, but probably around 300 to 400 fishing power, I'd assume, since you can stack up all the tackle bags and such. But I'm not sure since no Goblin Army to combine stuff. But I'm not there since no Goblin Army to combine stuff. Yeah, that's fair. Right, are we getting a spawn tonight? I've got 2 minutes to find out. Hi, just popping in to say I really enjoyed your vids. Interested but also calming. Thanks. Good luck for this run. Sounds kinda tricky. It's less tricky and more just a lot of waiting currently. Like a lot of looting in pre-hard mode, just jumping between worlds trying to get good loot from chests. And now it's just waiting for the mech bosses to spawn and for the travelling merchant to sell good things. Also, from what I know, I have caught something that was not expected. Where has that spawned? Huh? So, not here. Is there now a second meteor here? No. Did it go through the first meteor? I am so confused. Where did that other one spawn? Not down here. Did it spawn within the other one? Did it replace the meteor with meteor? Or if I do this and then this, did it come over to this corruption? Oh, I should really cleanse this area. So I can get things to spawn here again, and NPCs. Looks like it since it broke the orb. Yeah. That's kind of annoying because it means... Can goblins... No, yeah. Well, if goblins can spawn, that's fine, but if pirates can spawn... No, it never would have been pirates anyway. I'm talking rubbish. Okay, let's get all this contaminated. Let's hope that that shark doesn't kill me. That's all of it. Yeah, this should now be valid housing, hopefully. Yeah. So if we've got any other NPCs to move in, they now have somewhere they can go. Demolitionist, we had him already, that's not that interesting. Enemies coming to ruin my sleep. Since I have a mod called Tokens and I get the fishing token every third or so thing you fish up, I'm at over 600 of them right now, and they can be used to craft all the fishing gear you'd get from the quests, but you need a Tinkerer's Workshop for that, so I still wouldn't be able to use them, and I don't want to plant until I have everything already from the quests, so I'll just have to use them to craft copies of the fishing accessories, since I do need 3 tackling bags total. Well, can you also use them for potions, or is it just the fishing accessories? Probably don't need the purification powder now, let's pop that away. Just fishing related. So do fishing potions work? Serves me right for not looking. They are an added drop to the cache, not a main loot, so potions have no effect on them. No, I mean, can you use them to craft fishing potions? Because you can use them to craft the fishing accessories. If a mech spawns tonight, I'm not going to be ready at all, but we'll see. Ah, no mech tonight. I was ready for that one. No, just fishing quest loot, the main loot that is, so no plants and such. That's sad, I guess. This is fun. This is fun. I'm having fun. It just keeps it balanced for the run and just reduces the RNG hell of getting 3 full tackling bags worth of accessories for the run. Yeah, that helps, I guess, instead of having to go through all the quests to get multiple of them. But at the same time, it's quality of life, so you should probably delete it and start again. If you're playing modded Terraria, you don't deserve to have quality of life. That's just a fact, I'm afraid. Checking every now and then to see if I've missed a message saying that the travelling merchants arrived. I won't. You should. I'm not a QOL abuser like most, but I also don't hate / dislike it. It just needs to be actually quality of playing and not just a skip. Yeah, that's the issue. Most of them are just skips. Especially when you bring in other mods and like cross-mod compatibility. Like Alchemist NPC allows you to get a lot of potions before you would be able to get them in Calamity. Which can cause issues. And overall, it just kind of removes a lot of aspects of the game, I think. Are we getting a spawn tonight? We're getting a spawn tonight? We're not. I'm hoping that it's still possible to get them to spawn. It's not like just the first mech spawns and no others. Pretty sure they still should spawn, but it's felt like quite a lot of nights to sleep through to get one to spawn. I was very lucky at the start. We got like 3 mech spawns right at the start of the stream, and now we've had none since. And it's been like 3 times as long, I think. Right, what can I do while waiting? Because this could be another 6 hours of this, for all I know. I'm really hoping it's not, but it could be. The annoying part about RNG is it could be 6 hours, or it could be 6 minutes. Until the next mech spawns. The travelling merchant could arrive and sell everything I want in the next 3 minutes, or it could take 3 hours. And I have no idea which is going to be. All I can say is I'm very thankful that I found this bed, because otherwise this would be even worse. I prefer when the total amount of work is reduced on annoying tasks like fishing quests, but not removed the need to do that task altogether. Yeah, I think that's a better form of quality of life for sure. Like with magic storage, that does kind of remove the need for storage systems. But it's not like storage systems are a fun part of the game. Oh, traveling merchant. And maybe some people view that about fishing, I guess. Just not me. Come on, please, please, please have something good. Ugh, why is it doing this? Why? Why? Quality of life stuff needs to strike the right balance between skipping the annoying grind and not being so easy that you can just finish everything instantly. Yeah, any kind of item that starts with the word instant probably shouldn't be used. Like an instant elevator, an instant bridge, instant platforms, instant map filler or whatever it's called. Like these are all quite overpowered items. For me, chests are fun. Oh, you mean like sorting chests? Yeah, I can't see it myself, but fair enough. Vein Miner is a perfect quality of life mod. See, I wouldn't say so because it takes away the aspect of mining speed. That's like a thing that you need to build up stats for. Like I would say anything that takes away the need for stats is probably a quality of life thing that I don't like. So anything that like takes away the need for fishing stats because, you know, your pole has like 500 bobbers. Like with 500 bobbers you don't really need fishing power as much. But Vein Miner, I mean, especially because it's so toggleable, like you can just edit it to include anything. You could edit it to include ash, and then you could make an arena for Providence really easily. I know most people don't use it for things like stone, but you could. Some people toggle it for stone in the early game, just get like 3,000 stone and then never have to mine for stone again. Dodged. I'm also going to get rid of this grave. And this one. Nope, no spawn tonight. Okay, let's see if we get another wandering trader then. Not wandering trader, traveling merchant. Wrong game. Although it is funny that they're basically the same thing. I pretty much just use it to make the hard mode ore grind less annoying, but I think hard mode ores are just doomed to be an annoying step of progression for me. Hard mode ores really aren't that bad. I mean, you just get some mining armor and accessories like the ancient chisel and you just go mining. I feel like you get them quite quickly. You just take Spelunker and mining potion and you're already halfway to full mining speed. Come on, traveling merchant. Come on. Is it up till 12 that it can spawn? I don't know. I need to check what time actually that it spawns exactly so that I know when to get my hopes up and when to not. Oh. Traveling merchant spawns between 4:30 and 12 PM. Okay. That's not bad. That's quite a wide array of times. No spawn tonight either. Ore excavator does not remove the need for mining speed, since even if you do use it for stone or dirt, then you would still need to normally dig out a perimeter, unless you are just dumb and do in fact want to mine out half the world. I've seen YouTubers do it before. There would be a reduction of the work needed, not removing entirely, and it's useless when spelunking, since early on and even later, if you just mine all the stone out, you will have a hard time moving from ore to ore. The stone mining possibility of it is not a benefit but a penalty for being dumb. That's one way of seeing it, but even if you just have to mine stone and not ores, that still takes away a lot of the mining speed benefit, you know? A lot of the reason for upgrading mining speed is to get ores quicker. And if you're caving for your ores rather than like mining straight towards them, then it does take away the need for mining speed, because you just click on the block and then you get a full set of ores. And then you move to the next cave and you do the same thing, you know? Okay, so a traveling merchant can spawn now until 12. Just doesn't quite reach. Oh, it does reach, just. I think that lava bat's going to cause an issue in a second. Get ahead of it. Come on, a few more seconds. Not enough. No traveling merchant today. Okay, I think if we don't get a mech spawn tonight, I may just have to end the stream. Because we're getting to 4 hours, and all we've done so far is beat one mech boss and buy a jetpack. That doesn't feel like enough for a stream, I'm not gonna lie. Ever heard of the hit game Terraria? No, never heard of it. Is it new? Still doesn't remove it since going from cave to cave is not very efficient since the air in the caves always takes away ore spawn spots. So mining to ores is still better to use in general than excavator. How many people do mine to ores though? I feel like most people mine to caves and then use the caves to get ores. But I don't know. Right, no spawn tonight. Well, I think we've come to the end of this stream. Unless I wait for... No, I'm not gonna wait because I've already started saying it's the end of the stream. So, thank you for watching. Let's just keep this guy sleeping as long as possible while I do the preamble of heading off. Yeah, thank you for joining me on the stream. Join the next one if you want to see me sleep for another 5 hours. I'm sure you'll enjoy that one a lot more. I'll see if I can maybe get like a tier list or something set up in another monitor so that there's at least something to do while all this happens. But either way, thank you for watching so far, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.